Hello, everyone. You're here again for another Advisory Live. It's our Thursday afternoon. It's all we do. And we're here today talking about a bit of a different topic. So basically, you remember back in Pride Month, we did a Pride special. So this one is our Black History Month special. And I'm here with my fantastic colleagues.
Hello, my name is Karo. Happy to be here again to discuss Black History Month with you all. I'm a student of Nottingham Trent University, and I keep saying currently doing my placement with OK students. Trish?
Hi guys, I'm Trish back again with Karo and Mariana. I'm excited about this one. Um, I'm also a student at Nottingham Trent University in my final year. Woo! But yeah.
Let's go. Almost a graduating student. And it's
Yeah.
so impressive, especially this month that we're talking about this. It's really impressive to see like really successful Black women, especially. It's like one of my favorite things ever is like watching you guys thrive and succeed. I wanted to ask you, like, how do you feel about this, about being Black women in the UK at the moment, working and studying? Like, what is this experience?
Karo, do you want to go first?
Sorry, I was trying to answer you.
Like we're about to go talk together.
Okay, all right.
Vague ass question, basically. Vague question.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's been an awesome experience. It's nothing less than I was expecting, before coming from home down here to meet people for like one of the major reasons I personally wanted to come to UK is happen to be in a diversified environment, not back home where we just have the black. Yeah, you have everybody from different races. You get a lot to learn from them, and of course, they also have a lot to learn from you. So coming to the UK, it's amazing how you get to meet a lot of people from different nationalities. Like I'm from Nigeria. I can't take 10 minutes walk in my area here without meeting another Nigeria. And it's amazing. I'm far away from home, but I'm still here. So it makes things easier. The only thing I struggled a little with was, of course, their English. It was totally different from us. I just need to probably listen more to pick what they're saying. I'm talking about outside the university. The university is a different ballgame. So, but yeah, being a black lady, doing my master's here in the UK, also working with OK student for my placement here, it's really, really amazing because the opportunities here are numerous. It's open to everybody, irrespective of your race, your tribe. And it's amazing to know that everybody, general, I think the world is really changing. They're accepting individuals for who they are. So any opportunity that is opening to anybody of a particular race is also open to us that are black. So I think so far it's been an amazing opportunity for me here in the UK and my study at NCU. Yeah, Trish.
Perfect.
I will agree with some of what you said as well. That being a black woman in the UK is at this point in time as well is quite an amazing experience. I feel like we're just on the brink of a change sort of thing. It's been progressive for a while, I would say, in the UK. And even NTU is a really diverse university. I think all universities are diverse, but in terms of the country in general, I think we're in a moment where things are moving forward. So it's exciting to be here at this time. And the fact that we're both university students, and like you're saying, Caro, I feel at my university like I have the same opportunities that everyone else has. They're presented to me in the same way. And lecturers go out of their way to support each of us. It doesn't matter whether you're black, white, yellow, green. Yeah, whatever color, everyone is on the same in the same boat at university.
That's amazing. So, like you both talked about opportunity equality, and I wanted to ask as well. Like, do you feel that the Equality Act came to help this? Because, for example, like each time we need to like apply for a job or apply for any sort of scholarship, we always need to fill in all of those things about ethnicity and sexuality and all of this. And when it comes to LGBTQ issues, the way people frame this very often is that that helps a lot in like giving opportunities to people who have like diverging sexualities of some sort. I was wondering if you felt the same in regards to ethnicity, if that was something that helped in actually giving more opportunities to people.
Well, personally, I don't think it did much It's good because I believe from time immemorial, it's always been there, feeling the ethnicity, even with the discrimination that happened way back. I think it has always been there. But I believe right now there's so much more awareness on equality. You know, some persons do this without, they don't even understand they're doing something wrong or hurting some group of persons. It's just what they happen to see as their normal. But because of the awareness people are creating from different medium, you know, universities are letting everybody know. And right now, you can't do something because some person can take legal action against you. So people are having all that in mind, and of course, it's making the equality like it's supreme now. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
I would just add on to that I think they're making extra effort now. So initially, I didn't think it made any difference at all. In fact, I would have thought the opposite was true. But now that the Black Lives Matter movement made such a huge impact in, I think, almost every country, really, especially in the West. Um, they are paying more attention to how diverse they are in their companies. So I think they then do pay more attention to which boxes are being ticked by people and to try and improve their diversity. They are actually probably giving us more opportunities than before. I wouldn't say more opportunities than other races, but more than we used to have, to a point where it will eventually become equal.
Exactly, but it's like with time, with these kinds of things, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to say, guys, don't forget to comment below if you have comments on diversity in your specific university, or if you just want to chat with us about Black History Month. And I was going to say, like, jumping off from this question quickly into another one, because this was literally what we were talking about backstage before coming on to the live, was about the diversity in universities in their academic staff as well. Because, for example, it's not like secret that I have a partner and they are taking a doctorate in philosophy at Southampton University. And one of the things that they constantly tell me is that they struggle a lot to find Black authors and people who aren't white in general in philosophy or in any other field. I think this is quite relevant. And I know that there's a bit of a lack of diversity within academic staff in the universities. Would you want to comment on this?
Okay, yeah, let me go first. During my course at NTU, three of my lecturers were actually from my country, Nigeria. Like, you need to see me getting excited. Like, when we were introduced to the model and I heard the name, I'm like, this name sounds Nigerian. Like, I couldn't wait after the lecture to go introduce myself to the lecturer. And it was really amazing. In fact, one of them happened to be the head tutor for the particular course. So, you know, it's not just a lecturer, she was a doctor. She's a doctor, rather, sorry. So, and we also had two others. So it's amazing to know that then apart from the Black lecturers, we also have some people that from Asian. We have, of course, lots of European and some other white lecturers. So it's amazing to know that there are lots of lecturers that are also from the diverse places. So it's not limited to just a particular race. And that's owing to the fact that these universities, they get students from all over. The students are not just coming from a particular country. You know, there are lots of international students in the university. And knowing that you're coming to be taught by someone from your place, it gives you this I don't know, it just makes you feel so good. It makes you feel, yeah, I really belong here. This place is for me. It's not just meeting people from entirely different race. And it also gives you this feeling like, wow, if this person can come here and be this, of course I can also do that, you know. It encourages you and gives you this like self-awareness and self-esteem. Like, if they can reach here coming from Nigeria, coming from Ghana, and now you're the head tutor at NTU, nothing is stopping me from doing it. It means opportunities are open to all. I believe, I don't know how all other universities are, but I believe having lecturers from different races, especially having Black lecturers, it really helps the students, lots of international students. Most of us, we feel you're freer to go and approach them. You can discuss anything you have with them because they know where you're coming from. They understand your struggle being Black because they've been there and now they are here. So there's a balance with those lecturers. And for me, it was a big one at NTU, seeing three lecturers for different models from Nigeria, particularly. Yeah, it was really amazing.
Yeah, I think it's really important, Karo, like you're saying, to have representation. And I think there's still a lot of room for improvement in that area because, unlike you, I only had one lecturer, black lecturer from Nigeria, and then I had another one from Algeria, but she's Middle Eastern, I suppose. So that was as diverse as it really got for me. But I do think NTU, as most of you know, if you've seen me on here before, I've been to a different uni before. Um, and compared to my last university, NTU is far more diverse because, like you're saying, you had three black lecturers, and that's just in one course. So I think there is still a lot of room for improvement because being able to see someone like Karo saying, be in a position of influence and to see that they've done well coming from the similar background that you have is really inspiring for Black students. Especially with things like, I don't know if we were going to talk about this, but I'm just going to bring it up. My inner activist is trying really hard to be calm. But things like,
we're trying, guys. We're trying. We're trying.
right,
This is going to be a very steady balance that we're going to walk here in between our activists, our inner activists, and our inner professionals.
exactly, exactly. So with things like the attainment gap, I think if there was more BME stuff, that would be something that wouldn't be taking so long to deal with. I think universities are trying their best to make sure that the gap isn't as wide, but I think they do need to do a lot more than they're doing now, and that comes from just a starting point would be more representation in the universities.
Yeah, definitely. I fully agree. I think that like having free lectures in one course is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, it definitely needs to widen. Yeah, to make the gap kind of smaller in this, because if not, we're never going to get out of the same situation. And like more and more is representation matters. You know that with me, it's a lot like LGBTQ issues are my specialty. So I'm kind of here just to hear from you, but in the end it ends up being kind of the same things about like representation, because as long as people see themselves in these contexts, they know that they can achieve to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why it's like so important, for example, that the US had like a black president a few years ago, because if not, so many children wouldn't be able to like imagine themselves in that position. And having, for example, trans women being elected into office now in the US as well, it's been such a revolution in how these people see themselves and how they can like reach these positions, that it's basically the most important thing here is definitely fighting for representation and good representation as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and in media, I think this is really visible as well, because more and more we have more black characters in media. I think that, for example, Empire came to change that a lot in media, because it was basically just a full cast of black people, which is amazing. And it's really not like something that you see every day. Or like Dynasty as well, the remake of Dynasty, which I'm obsessed with. I'm so sorry, but I'm obsessed with the Dynasty remake. And the fact that they have so many black characters there really like shows a completely different life in the end.
Yeah. I think it shows a more accurate image of what life is becoming like, because so many of us are integrating with different cultures. Like the three of us here are representing three different countries. And that's just what should be seen every day because it is becoming more and more common.
Exactly, definitely. Yeah, we didn't even mention that, right? Where like, do you guys want to talk a bit about where you come from? And then I can talk a bit about why I'm so white, basically.
Go on, Karo.
Yes, I'm from Nigeria. Originally from Nigeria. We are in West Africa. I'm sure the largest country in West Africa. Nigeria is very busy. We are culturally diverse in Nigeria. We have over 100 different languages spoken in Nigeria. So, and I only speak two, aside from English, as Yoruba and Isoko, where I'm originally from. Nigeria is a very beautiful country, lots of talented people, and of course, we have lots of traditional dishes. Like I remember, there was Global Weekend at NTU before the whole pandemic, and we had to start learning online, and I saw our Nigerian jollof rice. Please, you guys have to test it. I was so excited, like, like a baby you just asked to go play out. Like, oh my God, is this here? So that made me feel so happy. I had to go to the stand and met the ladies that prepared that. And it happens to be that she's also from Nigeria, but of course from different ethnicity from myself. I was like, you want to have a test? I did. Had a lot of it. Other people came to try it. I'm like, wow, it's so spicy, so hot. Yes, we like our meals spicy and hot. But we're very beautiful people, loving and friendly. I'm sure you want to pay Nigeria a visit whenever you can.
What about you, Trish? I just need to mention one thing where it's like Karo is not mentioning jollof rice for nothing either, I think, because like that's literally the only Nigerian dish that I know how to cook.
Oh
yeah.
my!
Yes.
I don't even know how to make it.
Oh man, it's great. And there's a Ghanaian version and there's a Nigerian version, and they're like completely different. And the Nigerian version is so good. But like basically one of my colleagues on my course was who actually like taught me how to cook that. And I've always loved that because I lived with a few Nigerian people over like my university career. And it was always great to have like that meal with them because it was like this thing that we could like share and I could make. And it was like, oh, here's a little bit of home for you as well.
Cool. So compared to Nigeria, Zim is very different. So I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm actually wearing a t-shirt from Zim, but you can't see it sadly. But
can you stand up?
Yay!
Oh,
flag there on the corner.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah. We're in the south, right next to South Africa. Most people know where South Africa is, so we are right next to them, down south. Very small country compared to Nigeria again, and a lot more colonized compared to Nigeria. So we have a few dishes that are like national dishes, but our diet is quite very English. I don't know whether that's colonization or what, but yeah, I think so.
I think it is, yeah. I think that counts.
Yeah. We have about 23 tribes that I know of anyway, from the last that I checked. But there's two main languages which are spoken other than English. English is the official language, but two main languages. But there's loads of other tribes that speak different languages. And like Karo, I speak the two other languages. And it's a beautiful country as well. We're known for we're famous for cheetahs and lions. So if you want to go on a safari, I definitely recommend Zim. It's a beautiful country, nice weather.
Or if you want to get eaten by a big cat, like
Exactly. Or like go on a drive in Zim and you'll just see like different animals on the road. Like monkeys. I love monkeys, so I literally love it when we're on the road and there's like a few monkeys down the road, like on a normal day.
wow.
They have to go far.
Oh man, that's great.
And just to mention, we also have lots of great people from the country Nigeria, people that have placed the country in the world map, So I think it's also good to mention their names.
Yeah.
There's a great lady, you can always look her up. We have Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. She has headed the IMF, she has headed the World Bank. She was one time a finance minister in Nigeria. So like the woman is great. She is beauty with lots and lots of brains, Like those are people that have put the map of Nigeria in the world. Then of course, when it comes to sports, we have lots of Nigerian people that are doing greatly in sports. We have those back home. We also have those that are like Nigerian British. There's Anthony Joshua, who is originally Nigerian. We have lots of footballers. We have the likes of Dele Ali and likes of them. When it comes to musicians, we have lots of Nigerians there. There's Two-Face, Davido. I was on the bus sometime when I got to the UK. That was last year. And some British people were behind me. They were listening to a whiskey song and just singing it in their own way. And I had to turn like, oh my God, like I was just smiling, like, wow, so these people have really gone far. So Nigeria is filled with talented people. There are people that, when it comes to academic, yes, people doing great things. Even in the US, I can't remember the name. There's a Nigerian guy in the US Navy is doing exploit there as one of their engineers. So it's amazing to know that apart from doing what we have to do back home in our countries, they are also in different parts of the world contributing their own quota to the development of wherever they go. So Nigerians are beautiful people, not just Nigerian, of course. The whole black, the whole world. But I think, and that's why this equality is really important, so that we don't depress these things that are in people. People have lots to give out. They just need the opportunity to showcase themselves. And that's why it's good these our leaders are coming out ahead of us. Just like Mariana mentioned earlier, Obama being a president has made every black person know that if I want to do it, I can do it. The opportunity is there for you. It's not, you don't see the position like, oh no, I'm limited, I'm black, I can't do it. No, he has done, he went there, he went for the election and he won. He was the president for 2 tenures. So you can do it, Trish can do it, I can do it, Mariana can do it. So yeah.
Exactly. And literally, Lokesh has like put this under here, and this was like my next question for you. And you, Karo, you also like read my mind here because I was literally gonna ask about this. So Trish, you want to comment some black people that you admire, or like people who are amazing in Zimbabwe?
So I'm going to comment on a black Zimbabwean woman who I think is doing amazing things. She's in Zimbabwe and her name is Tilda Moyo, same surname as me. I'll put the spelling on here so that Lokesh can put it up. But she basically highlights a lot of issues that are going on, a lot of things to do with like cultural and traditional practices that are quite harmful to our community, as well as political things like people who've been imprisoned for ages and ages for something quite small, and she tries and gets people out of prison. She's got a foundation that helps people that have come to like very sudden losses in terms of people being killed, that sort of thing. But she basically broadcasts all of this on Facebook and YouTube, and brings to attention a lot of issues that people wouldn't really know normally. So I just think she's doing an amazing job, especially now with everyone being in lockdown and we're all on YouTube and Facebook. It's highlighting a lot of things that we probably aren't aware of in our own bubbles at home. So yeah, I think she's doing an amazing job. In terms of other inspirational Black women, definitely Michelle Obama. And I think she's Nigerian as well, Chimamanda.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, she's
another great
awesome.
one.
And the late Maya Angelou as well, amazing Black women that have done amazing things for the community, for local and internationally, and inspiring in every single way, really. So yeah.
Exactly. Like you mentioned Chimamanda. Chimamanda was such a big influence in me in like formative years because like I read or I saw her speech about what it's like why everyone should be a feminist, I think was
Oh
this.
yes.
Yeah, and then I just read through her entire bibliography. I couldn't stop. It was like I picked up Americana. I have like a signed copy of
Oh,
Americana exactly because of that, because it's such a good. Yeah, yeah. I'll show it to you when I go back to
Yeah,
Nottingham. I'll take it with me.
that's
Um, it's like it was one of the best stories of immigration that I've ever heard, and the way she tells it is just the way she forms that world for us, both Lagos and the US, is just so impressive.
yeah. I actually suggested that book for my book club in the last month, but sadly I didn't win because we all vote for different books. But I've been wanting to read that book for so long, so I might have to do it in my own time.
I'll send you the ebook.
Oh,
I'll send you the ebook.
thank you.
Oh, she's such a great writer, honestly. Like, I think that we really need to talk about these people more and more because it's so important that we know that they exist. Because,
Yeah.
like, if you hadn't mentioned Tilda Moyo, I would have never known, like, the amazing job that she's doing. And I am going to ask you, like, please send me her Instagram and where she, like, broadcasts later on, just so I can follow her because that sounds amazing.
Good. Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
So
It's so important and it's so interesting to like have all of this representation, and more we start having more representation. And I think the UK, it's like we were mentioning earlier, it's very different from city to city, right? When you were at your other university, you didn't really have a lot of diversity, whereas in Nottingham, there's a lot of diversity, but Nottingham has always been marked by this enormous diversity, right? Where it's history, it's all about like cultural diversity. And then the UK and the Windrush generation and all of these things kind of add on top of this like already big melting cultural pot in the UK.
Mm, I agree.
yeah, I think even in Leicester, yeah, Leicester is a very diverse city, but there are still some places that is not as diverse as others. So you just being a black person automatically you don't want to you don't want to settle in such places because you don't feel included, you know. So I
Yeah.
think just like Trish has always said, there's still a lot of work to be done, but probably gradually every other place would be as diverse as the main city. Majority of Leicester, of course, people from all races. There's some places you go to, I'll be like, am I in Asia or in the UK? You know, people you're saying. But there's still some places that, oh, I think they are just the British people. They just want to be there. Probably they don't want to be bothered. I don't know why, but probably they'll learn to accept people more and more to make it as diverse because there's a lot of beauty in diversity. You learn a lot from people. There's so much to learn, you know. That like I don't understand the British. I tell people back home, I used to say the British don't eat so much because when we see their meals in movies, it seems small. But coming here, I said they eat more than any other person. The meal, you want to have a breakfast, but there's everything in the meal. In Nigeria, we just have our bread and our tea and we're done. You have your bacon, you have your egg, you have your baked beans, and one meal. Like I can't move after having that, you know. So it's beautiful to know what people do. Every little thing counts, you know. There's lots of beauty in diversity, which I believe everybody should welcome it, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sorry, there was a bit of
Yeah.
feedback there. So I was just gonna say exactly. I mean, like we're so diverse and we like accept diversity in so many ways that like ethnicity is just one more way that we need to accept diversity and think about diversity in our own countries.
Mm.
And it's really, I think that the mention of like culinary there is amazing because we do mix so many ingredients in one thing. Why can't we like have yeah, like a decent like diversity? And that's the thing. It's like if I'd never lived with a Nigerian person, potentially I would have, yeah, I definitely would never have actually known how to cook jollof rice. But I would have potentially also never heard about Chimamanda. And it's so important because like the more information we have, the more we can actually like pass down to others. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. And I think lots of celebrities right now they are putting in a lot of work in Black Life Matters and in fact all life matters and people getting to accept people from all races and gender. I'm just gonna use example of I think Beyonce, of course, we all know her.
Oh
She's
yeah.
trying to do so much. She released a musical video recently. What's the name? Trish, can you help me? I can't remember the name of the song.
King.
Yeah, and she showcased lots of African tradition there because she already have a large fan base, lots of followers. That will just raise awareness for our fans, like, oh wow, this is something happening here, and they want to look into it. You don't need to come down to Africa to know what is going on there. So with those people already at the top, trying to let the whole world know, yeah, this is what goes on with people from these places. There are people here. This is their tradition. They are pushing it up. It's creating more awareness for equality all over. So I think that's also a good one for whichever position you are in, wherever we can showcase where we are from or other people's tradition. It mustn't be a black person. Wherever we can, whatever we can showcase. I think it's beneficial. It's useful right now. It makes people accept us the more, of course, and room for equality.
Yeah. And I think it helps people understand as well. Is it the feedback coming from me?
No,
No.
now it's good. Now it's good.
Okay. Um, like your example of Beyonce, she basically um did this off the back of Lion King. And I remember watching Lion King when I was like a baby, obviously, like very young. And I could understand that it was an African movie. It was representing a lot of traditional African practices. And it's now like 20 years, well, not 20 years later, maybe actually 20 years later.
It is
And
20 years later. It is.
we're now like realizing that all this time Lion King was actually showing what is happening,
Yeah.
happening in Africa. So I'm like, yeah, it's high time now that people actually start to make these connections and being more aware of other cultures, or maybe of Africa in a more broader sense. Because before it was all about maybe the animals and safari, but like you're saying,
Yeah.
Karo, Beyonce's shown such a diversity in how people live and the houses and the wealth that actually is in Africa that is not normally seen on TV or any mainstream outlet. The English is escaping me today.
Yeah, because you still have so many places, especially in Europe and the United States, where people think that Africa is just a huge continent. It has no cities whatsoever, and it just has tribes and animals.
You know, like over when I meet some person now, where are you from? Oh, are you from Africa? I tell you, no, I'm from Nigeria in Africa. Africa is not a country.
Yeah, it's not like America.
Africa is a continent. They just be like, oh, you're from Africa. No, I don't get tired of correcting them because I don't see you in the UK and say, hey, are you from Europe? No, you're from the UK, you're from Italy, you're from Portugal. So
It's not a
I have
country.
a country. I'm from Nigeria in Africa.
Oh
And
man, if you were to say that now to a British person, though, they would be so annoyed of like, oh, so you're British, you're from Europe, right?
yeah,
Exactly.
it would be so annoying.
Oh, that would be great. That's how I'm gonna start introducing myself to people. Like, hi, I'm Mariana, I'm from Europe.
That's so funny. Oh man.
Yeah,
And even
it's so
after
funny, but it's amazing because some persons don't really know. Sorry, Trish. You
no
know,
go
during one of my group work in my class, a student I can't remember where he's from. He was thinking he was virtually arguing with me. No, your country is Africa. Africa. I'm like, oh my goodness. Africa is not a country. You can you check this out? Like he really didn't know. He said,
Oh
yeah,
my
he has
God.
heard of other names, but it's all Africa. I was
Yeah.
very patient, but I don't get tired of that
Oh
discussion.
my God.
Like, oh no, you have to. And I started calling great names of people from Nigeria, different African nationalities, especially those that are now in the international sector doing greatly. Like, oh wow, have you seen this person before? And yes, the young person that likes music, we have lots of good music. I'm like, okay, you know this musician is from my country, Nigeria. Have you seen him? Oh wow, it's serious. Like, oh yeah, so you need to come there. It's not a country, Africa, Nigeria. I'm not about Nigeria now. And each country in Africa have their own specialty. I'm like, oh wow, okay, that's good. But it's still Africa. I'm like, oh, this is stuff. I have to let it go then.
Oh God. Can you imagine, Kara, if Africa was like America's set up and if it was all one united country, it would be a
Oh
mess.
my, oh my goodness. It really would be.
Because
You
it's
know?
already kind of a mess, right? And some countries it's like already the borders that were defined are not the borders that existed previously.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how much more now saying the whole Africa, not south, east, west as one? Oh no, 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 no. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, same. Because even we're from Africa, but our communities back home are so different. Nigerians, them are completely different. A lot of my friends are Nigerian, and one of my best friends is from Ghana. So I think Nigeria and Ghana are quite similar. But when
Yeah.
you guys come down south, that's when we notice the big difference. And maybe Mariana, you have that between like European people and British people, or even Spain and Portugal, like the differences from countries.
Yeah, definitely. Like we have that a lot with like Spain and Portugal are kind of the same, to be honest. And people from Portugal who would tell you they're different, it's because they're nationalists normally. But Portugal to France, though, is a completely different like matter, and it's a matter of like what 400 or 500 kilometers. So
Mm.
if the cultures change so much in like 300 or 400 or 500 kilometers, I wonder how they like shift in like thousands and thousands of kilometers. That is like the whole span of the African continent.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, I going from this, I really want to ask you to, like, beyond white people knowing that Africa is not a country, what else should we know and what else should we do to actually be good allies?
Just as Trish have mentioned, please, they should know that, I don't know, there's whatever you're having here in the UK and Europe, wherever, you have it in Africa.
Exactly.
Some people don't, you, they don't know, they use iPhones, they use Android. Everything is there in Africa. Like, we don't live in mods.
Yeah.
We have houses, we have skyscrapers. There was a time Trey Songs came to Nigeria. Trey Song, he came to Nigeria, I think that was 2 years ago. And during his performance, he was streaming it live. So I was following it on Twitter. You need to see some comments some Americans were making. Wow, do they have this in Nigeria? Wow, do they have this? I'm like, this is, oh my goodness. Cardi B was in Nigeria last year. I think from Nigeria she went to UK to Ghana, and she was like, Nigeria is the best country ever. She was amazed with what we have there. So I think, apart from maybe people outside coming to see that, we too, we as indigenous citizens, we should showcase ourselves more, because they just have some thoughts in the mind, probably the ancient days of how it was, and like to see how it is now. It isn't so. Africans don't just live in the bush and you come out and monkeys are jumping everywhere. No.
Despite what I said.
Oh, there are lots of beautiful places. Like, it's amazing, and I think that should be pushed out more. Then, of course, amazing dishes. You guys, you see some fruits. It's just, oh my God. Like, I'm from Africa, but when I see some other parts of African meals, I'm like, oh, what is this? Am I supposed to eat this, or what do I do with it? So you just have to be open to that step.
Yeah.
Generally, we're all beautiful and lovable. So please, they
Yeah.
should know that the development that is also in the UK, in Europe, USA, it's also in Africa. Lots of people, we have good education, and that is why lots of university. I'm sure there's no university in the UK you don't get people from Africa doing so great. When the A levels result came out, and those students that entered Cambridge, I was following it on
Twitter.
Twitter. There were lots of Nigerian students with their A plus grade, like doing so well. They got good they got admission to top schools in the UK. Yeah, so, and this people foundation was from back home. So we have lots of things also going on for us back home. Don't just assume it's okay. No, they don't know what civilization is and they're coming here to it. No, we already know what it is. We just want to also come to a diverse place to learn and benefit from all what every other person is benefiting from. So yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Definitely can't add any more to that in terms of what we have in Africa. But the other thing I think people need to do is to not walk on eggshells, because I feel like if you start walking on eggshells regarding race matters, that's when you're going to offend someone because you're trying so hard not to that you will end up offending them. So if there's something that you're maybe unsure of, it's better that you ask than to walk on major eggshells and offend. And then, yes, better to just learn through asking or research than being so conscious that you feel like you can't ask, because it's something that should be spoken about. That's the only way we're ever going to conquer the divides, is by having open dialogue. So yeah, don't be scared to talk about race issues or something that you're unsure of.
That
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Karo. Sorry.
Sorry. It just made me remember something that happened to me. When you talk about race and all that, it happens both ways. At times, with the black, we also need to learn what is obtainable for other people. I remember we're just in a social gathering here last year, and there's this elderly man in Africa. Whether the person is your relation or not, provided they're a certain age, we don't just call you with your first name. So I had to add uncle to his name, and he corrected me. He said, "No, Kara, I'm not your uncle." He said, "Yeah, I didn't even know what to say because it doesn't just come out well. How would I just say Tony for someone that is old enough to be my father? But that is what is here." And he said, "No, I'm not your uncle, Kara. I'm Tony." And I had to force myself. I said, "Sorry, Tony." Like, all through the conversation, I deliberately did not mention his name. If I want to talk to him, I make sure we have eye contact before I talk. So it took me yeah, because I can't just say Tony. Like, you don't try that back home. You have to say Uncle Tony. So, but I think over time, I now know, okay, yes, this is what it says here. Nobody's offended by calling them their first name. It's their name. They'll let you know it's their name. So I think I'm better at it now. Like I see your name is Peter. Oh, Peter. Hi, Peter. That's fine. That's what's option B. So I think likewise, looking at the Africa context, try to know what these people do. If you don't know, of course, be open to correction. Like Trish said, don't walk on eggshell, because when you're trying to be too careful, you might be hurting somebody without knowing it.
Yeah.
I think that no,
Sorry.
dois, três. Dois, três. Yeah, deu. Okay, boa. So sorry for the burst of Portuguese there. It's like just to check like technical errors. It's better. What I was gonna say is, I think that that's really relevant. Is the non walking on eggshell things is so relevant, and I have okay. So all of my friends are progressive liberals. All of them. Some of them are anarchists, but most of them are progressive liberals, what they call themselves. I'm a progressive liberal. But then they walk on eggshells with this sort of thing. And they don't educate themselves and they don't ask because they're afraid to like exactly offend someone. And I'm like, you're not doing your job right in this instance, even if you don't want to ask people. Because like normally I'm someone, it doesn't look like it on these lives, I know, but I'm a really shy person. I don't like talking to people and I don't like asking questions.
I'll
So
pretend I did not hear that.
Yeah, same.
yeah, I'm like the person who does not like to socialize. I hate it. I hate parties. I hate like all of those things. I do great in front of a camera. That's what I do. It's good because I'm alone. It's great. Or on top of a stage. It's fantastic. But because of this, I had a lot of questions that I didn't have answers to. So what I did was I read a lot and I educated myself a lot and I started listening to more Black scholars, more Black artists, all of this sort of thing. So it's really about like not depending on other people to educate you, right? It's also like do your own research, find out things, educate yourself. Like read Renee Ede Lodge, for example, who writes this amazing history of Black people in the UK, and where like I think her book is called I'm done talking to white people about race, something like that.
Yeah.
So it was amazing for me because I like found out a bunch of stuff that I didn't know, and especially about Nottingham, because Nottingham was such a huge place for race riots in the 80s and 70s. And I had no idea about this. So I was reading this in Carlton in Nottingham, and I like go through the road where the riots happened every single day. And it would be like, oh, if I had never read this, I would have never known that this place where I walk by every single day was actually the setting for a huge riot.
Yeah.
I think it's just so important that we can also like find out things on our own. Like the discourse about Black masculinities, for example, because I wrote my undergraduate thesis. I feel like I'm bragging now. I wrote my undergraduate thesis on hip hop because yeah, I know a white person writing about hip hop. I know.
Well, it means you did a lot of research, so
I did a lot of research. I only cited Black scholars. I was like, I have like Trisha Rose right there looking at me right now with all of her hip hop books. But I found Akala through that. And he has a wonderful book called Natives, which is also about like the history of the Black history in the UK. And he had this amazing keynote about Black masculinity. And how Black masculinity was so highly influenced by racism, and how like racism came to actually like completely change the way we looked at Black masculinity. And it was just so interesting. And it was one more my eyes so much to this kind of discourse that we needed to have.
Karo, are you there?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I think Mariana.
I think we lost Mariana for a second.
Yeah.
But I thought it was me because normally it's my internet that's acting up. You're back, Mariana.
I'm here. My internet died for a second there. Sorry.
It's okay.
Were you
I
guys
think
having a
I'm
nice conversation?
kinda, yeah. After we realized that it was your internet and not our own individually.
Potentially, one of my housemates has decided that this is a great time to upload something. Probably.
Probably. I think everyone is so used to having some sort of technical issues now that they don't wonder what's happening when it happens.
Exactly. At least we're all much more used to this Zoom reality that we all live on.
Hmm.
These are reality for like more over 6 months now. So
Yeah,
Exactly.
almost a year.
So we either get used to it or not. So I
exactly.
just feel like my life right now is a very long Zoom call. That's
With a
basically it.
couple of breaks.
Exactly, with a couple of breaks,
Yeah.
basically. Wow, there's reality. Reality is my screen now.
I feel you. But yeah, you were saying, Mariana.
I completely forgot what I was saying in the middle of this. Basically, I was talking about educate yourself, people. If
Yeah,
you're white, go and educate yourself. That's the
yeah.
moral of my story here. Do we have any last words for this podcast? I keep calling it a podcast. I know it's not a podcast, it's a live, but I keep calling it a podcast. And now I'm rebranding, guys. I'm rebranding live here.
Maybe it's an idea of something else to do. Make it a live and a podcast, if that possible. If that's possible.
Exactly, exactly. And now Martin's hating me right now because he's like, we're not doing a podcast. So, last words, guys. What we want to say?
Karo?
Ooh.
I was gonna go on. I thought Prish was saying that, like, okay, let me pause for Trish. Okay, yeah. This is a very good one we have, and it's important. I think the awareness everybody's trying to raise as individual, corporate bodies, universities is awesome. It lets all Black people feel included, not just Blacks coming from Africa. There's some Blacks that have been born and bred here, and there's still this thing like they tend to feel I'm different from you because of the energy they get from other people. And it's amazing how the UK is now so diverse. So I think we should keep it up. Black life matters, and above all lives also matters. We are one, so let's keep equality and diversity up. That's all. Sorry.
And so I think it's me that keeps making the feedback come on.
I don't know. I don't know. But go ahead, Trish. Now there's no feedback.
Yeah, so I was just actually going to say that everyone knows that all lives matter. I think everyone knows that anyway. They should know that. But it's important to know that Black lives do matter and we just want equality. It's really not about trying to be better than any other race. It's just being on the same level. So things like universities, I shouldn't be shocked when I see a Black lecturer. It should just be the norm. So there's lots of steps to still take where we feel like we are equal because we are all equal. But also how much I've really enjoyed being in the UK because, like Karo said, I think if I was back in Zim, I wouldn't experience as many cultures as I do here. We do have quite a lot of Portuguese people in Zimbabwe, actually. Mariana and I have spoken about this before. But yeah, in terms of the spectrum of diversity that we find in the UK, I think that's probably one of the best things about the UK. And if you're fighting for Black lives, you're fighting for all Black lives. So trans, LGBTQ plus, you're fighting for everybody, disabled, and yeah, Black men, of course, as well. So when you mentioned about Black masculinity, I was like, yeah, we need to fight for Black men as well, but we do fight for them. So yeah, just
Exactly. And like I think that like the way that the struggle was like done was a lot in erasing like Black female lives, right? Was a lot like focused on like, oh, we need to deal with racism first and then we'll deal with feminism second. And I think that now there's a bit of a shift in this in this movement, maybe.
yeah, because you can't be a feminist or class yourself as someone who's fighting for Black lives, but you're not fighting for women's rights as well. It doesn't make sense to me, really.
That's
Or LGBTQ. You can't want the oppression of another group of people when you have understood the same just in the same sort of oppression, just in different ways. I mean, English is actually my second language, guys, so it's just escaping me today.
I fully understand. And guys, if you don't have anything else to say today, I am going to close this. Yeah?
Cool. Yes.
Right.
It was fun.
Awesome. Guys, this was great. Thank you so much. We didn't talk about universities at all, but sometimes we can also not talk about universities. Or like we talked a bit about diversity in universities. We kept up our lines here. I hope you enjoyed this Black History Month special. We're going to do a couple more things for Black History Month since we're halfway through it now. Thank you so much, Karo and Trish, for coming on with me today. It's really nice to be able to have these conversations with you guys. Thank you to everyone who was listening to us and watching us today. And I hope you all have a great day and have a happy Black History Month.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.